My name is John McCowan, 53-year-old inmate, and I've celebrated my last 2 or 3 birthdays incarcerated. You know, everybody's talked about pretty much this right here, so what I'm going to do, and was thinking in the back, was let you know about my life a little bit before I was incarcerated. I went through the military, was honorably discharged. I've worked as a cement mason and painter, but my last job before coming, or last 2 jobs before coming to the island of Hawaii, was a substance abuse counselor. And after that, I was the title changed, vocational counselor, case manager, and finally a career advisor. My job there was helping people at Goodwill Industries in San Francisco. 18 to 80, homeless, coming out of drug programs, helping ex-offenders, state and federal, helping seniors find transitional jobs at Goodwill, whether it's separating the merchandise that you buy at the Goodwill store, similar to the one over here, or tagging it, pricing it, doing retail work. I was fortunate enough to help do resumes, try to do job placements for people. I helped one young lady who was going through some addictions and almost facing prison in California and avoiding it. I was asked to do an ex-offender program where I would go into the county jails in San Francisco. I put together the curriculum. My new word that I learned was syllabuses. Put those together, what we were doing on what day, resumes, how to look for jobs, how to look people in the eye and not look through them, different stares when you're in the community, how you look at somebody. If I were looking at this young lady interviewing like this, if I was in prison, which I am, and you get out and you get mad, you kind of look at somebody like you're looking at the back of their head. Different meanings in how you look, how to look for jobs. Everybody goes to the newspaper. In California, it's bigger. You have maybe 5% of the jobs in the newspaper, and you have 85, I used to say 85, 90% of the people grabbing the Sunday paper to look for those jobs. Where you have 95% of the jobs, or a good majority, networking, church, listening to people on a bus. We have a BART system, which is a train similar to the L's and things in Chicago, New York. Listening to that, schools, classes here, you know, just friends, family, teaching them how to do that, to find employment. You know, I find it ironic that on the 16th, I started Goodwill class at the Career Center, and I don't know the name of the streets, and if I did, I couldn't pronounce them because I think we have one Caucasian, we had a Hawaiian female and male, and even though I have an Irish last name, I am more Mexican because where I live, my mother was 100% Mexican. So forgive me, that's why I just say the Career Center. But go over there, I get to go to a class that I used to do 2,600 miles away. You know, the political thing is the reason I came to Hawaii was in 2008. We had an election, had a Caucasian guy leaving, had a black Hawaiian, Illinois congressman, I think he was congressman, become president. You know, some of your families may have been caught up in that. Houses in trouble. A lot of jobs going down the tubes, banks, Fannie Mae, bailing out rich people, you know, when the poor people are looking like, where's my help? Why do you give $700 million or whatever it is to banks and whatnot when you can go and give 750 families $1 million and have them invest stores, houses, cars to stimulate the economy, small businesses. So that's where I was at. So I'm looking at things different now, helping be that, then going to prison and having to come out and do it. You know, said I'm 53, I'll be 54 in May. Look forward to coming out to be an ex-offender and try to find a job, which before when I was teaching the class, it's hard to do. It's hard to find jobs when you're 54 and not an ex-offender. So, and I came over here, not to sell drugs. I came over here because my brother offered me a job on the Kona side to put up a solar panel right there by the Queen K. If you ever go Queen K towards the airport, you see the solar field right there by the OTEC. My brother was a supervisor and put them up. 9 months after I got here, my brother passed away. I could tell you that, you know, all kinds of stuff, but he wasn't doing just concrete over here. He was doing other stuff. Told me, if you come over here, you bring me some, I'll give you $500 for every ounce you bring over. Cells were made for 2 people. Currently, they're running 3 people in there. So you're up here, you're about this high, and then somebody's sleeping on the bottom. You know, and unfortunately, depending on where that person sleeps, your head may be right next to the toilet. From about me to where this young lady is, or closer, so you're gonna have to ask somebody to get up and move, go, or just not even be worried about being embarrassed and do what you gotta do. And I don't say that to try to be graphic or glorify it, but it's kind of embarrassing, you know? It's a pain. Thank you for your attention, trying to give you where you can come from. Hopefully you don't end up here and have to do that again. So I appreciate your time.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Bobby, and I see in the Hope Service, the New Hope Service, and I just came up on a 15-year run, and I went in for robbery, but firearms, and for me, I was on drug dealer, on user, and as I was dealing, things was going good for me for a while, and I never did use. 2 years ago by, then I started using, and I was getting lows on one front from one doctor, big time. And as we was using, I couldn't pay the guys back. So what I did, how I got the robbery, we had a robbery in the doctor. We had one set up saying that he was having one big load come in. And perhaps that day, me and my friend did the trip. The guy never had the dough, so we ended up taking his money, over $50,000. And by that, for what I did, I had 5 charges. I had 1 theft, 1 burglary, attempted murder, and robbery of 1 firearm. And for that, I got 20 years for that. I was looking at life, but I got plea bargain for an open 20. And that's how I did the 15 years. From over here, from HCCC, I went to Alava, I went to Oklahoma, and I went to Arizona. And during the time, when I was in there, the first time I went to Alava, for a couple of years I was on owner, just being myself and just doing my time. And then as a couple of years went by, I had family inside there, was running one gang. So I ended up hooking up with one gang with the Usos. And by the time I was in a gang, I had to go through so much things, so much trips in prison. And I was in a gang for 10 years. And I was in there for 10 years. I finally came on short caller. And what short caller is, when things go wrong in prison, and when the big dogs tell us what to do, we gotta do them, yeah? So we sent out the boys. Had a lot of drugs in there. You guys wouldn't believe what they had in prison, like outside. So what we used to do, when we used to find out, we used to send the boys out and go find out who had drugs in prison. And us guys, we go over there and we take them from these other gangs. And when I was in there, I was doing good time. I wouldn't like the prison life because things was going good for me, because outside I had family, but I never depend on my family for take care of me. And when I was in there, we had most everything. We had bad cops, we had good cops. And the bad cops, we used to pay them to bring in drugs for us too. And the drugs was coming in left and right. It's like nothing, man. I was enjoying life in prison. And as I was doing my time, we had some boys that we recruit in a gang. And when we used to send guys off to go do trips and they get busted, they rat us out. And sooner or later we find out, yeah. And we found out we had one rat in a gang. And perhaps I had one nephew that was in a gang with us. And my nephew was coming up pretty soon in a couple of years. He only had one small time. But like me, I would send him out and a couple other guys. And my nephew would end up killing a guy in Arizona. And that was a big trip for me because my nephew, yeah. And he ended up getting life in Arizona. And out of that life, he got to do 25 years, and he's coming out in 2 years. And that was a big trip for me, man. But times go on, yeah. Prison. But it was rough in there, man. But anyway, so I was coming out for parole. And when they told me they was going to parole me, I never like kicked off parole. I wanted to do the rest of my time because I had 15 out of 20. And I just never like come home yet because I was institutionalized already. That prison was my life. And as the time was going on, they didn't see the parole board. They said they're going to parole me. And I tried to shut them down. But they never shut me down, so I went out on parole. I came out. I was out for 4 months. And it's like I was going back to the same lifestyle again. That's the only thing I know about. So what happened? To tell you guys the truth, I went back to the same lifestyle. And then one day my professor called me in. I had one dirty. And she was going to send me back to prison. Which, you know, I don't care about them. In a way, I never like care. I figure I only get 5 more years for do. I say 5 years is nothing like doing 15 years. But she gave me a chance. She sent me to the Hope Service. And that's where I stay right now. And the day I went to the Hope Service, I don't feel comfortable over there for the first couple of weeks. I never like anybody tell me what to do, because in prison, the cops tell you what to do, when to use the bathroom, when to go chow, or for head counts. And over there, the Hope Service, you gotta do what you have to do what the parole board tell you for to wear. And so, after a couple of weeks I go by, I was getting used to them. Then one day I found out my son passed away on top of drugs and alcohol, yeah. And that really wake me up, man. My son passed away on drugs and alcohol. Just like he's following in my steps. And that right there wake me up. Now I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and before I never like do nothing, to do anything. I just wanted to do my own time, my own lifestyle. But now, I can say I'm doing pretty good in the program right now. Going through a little bit rough times, but I know I can do them because I'm going to do this for my son and my girlfriend. And my goals is that doing this program and getting back out there in the community and doing the right thing for myself and for my family. And for right now, I'm doing what I gotta do. And I feel happy for what I'm doing right now. Like I said before, I never care about anybody. I always think about myself first before my family. And when I went to prison, my kids were small when I went to prison. Now I came out, they're all big now. I never see a couple of my kids on. In fact, I never did see my kids almost 20 years. So I found out that my son had passed away in Honolulu. And that really been opening up my eyes, man. And it didn't hurt, but I know where to stay. Stay in good hands right now. So the main concern right now is just gotta do what I have to do to get back out there. I don't want to go back to the same lifestyle I went through.